You are hosed. Welcome back, everyone, to the last and final episode of the 2020 RMFantasySX season. I am Chase, joined with my co-host, Christian.
What's up?
Christian's having some technical difficulties right now.
This feels like Race Day Live all over again.
His computer is not working for him right now, so he's going to have to go off memory. Maybe I'll share my computer with him. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that nice, though. But welcome. We are live again. We just saw the last and final round of the Monster Energy Supercross season.
Hold up. I'm hoping to pull a Sexton and get a restart here when my stuff ain't working right.
That is a pretty good one. Well, thank you for joining us. If you are watching right now, comment below, bench race with us. We're going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff today. We're going to talk about just the overall season, the entire recap. We're going to talk about the winners. We're going to talk about prizes that are going to be given out. We're going to show some of our favorite moments from throughout the year, all the great highlights, and we're going to have some cool polls. We have some questions for all the SX Nation out there. We want to hear your guys' feedback. So, again, bench race with us and kind of tell us what's going on out there. Lots to talk about, though. Let's keep it, as always, and jump right into a race recap.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I mean, 450s wasn't much to really talk about.
There wasn't. I mean, Tomac, he clearly won. Yeah, we got to keep with the theme here. Zach Osborne getting his first win of the 2020 Monster Energy Supercross season.
First 450 win.
A little bit of luck his way. Look at this, man. The Rockstar Husky boys rounding out the podium at the last round. Jason Anderson's seat came off. That was kind of wild.
A moment of silence for that seat.
I'm just listening to this over here. I'm chilling.
Dude, that sucked so bad.
I know. He had everything all wrapped up, ready to go, and his seat came off. That's just bad luck.
Can't make
Malcolm
that up.
Stewart, though, getting his best finish of the year. Tomac, you know what? I got to give props to Eli Tomac. This man, he had a comfortable points cushion going into the night. He had a 19-point lead, but he goes out there. He pushes forward in his heat race. He didn't win, but he wasn't by any means just going to cruise around.
He played
in
it
fifth or sixth
pretty
place.
safe.
He did, but he made passes in the heat race. He passed Malcolm. He was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes the main event time, and you're thinking he's just going to cruise around in 10th place. And, he didn't get the greatest jump off the start gate, but he made it happen.
But neither did Webb.
I know.
So he was good.
Of all times. But, oh, man. It was pretty wild, though. But those Rockstar Huskies have been so good off the start gate all year long. But I just got to give props to Tomac because he didn't – I mean, obviously he's not going to try for the win when he was that far back. But he was making moves, and he came from
he didn't push it. He waited. If something was open, he took it.
He didn't, but
he didn't push it.
It was just cool to see him actually make a push, pass riders, and charge. And Webb was back there behind him. He knew that Webb was behind him, so he had no reason to try and make any passes, and he still did. So,
well, Daniel Blair told us he was going to play it easy and that Osborne was good, and we didn't listen about Osborne.
Look at that. Rocky Mountain's calling you out for not having a hat on today.
I know.
Actually, have you ever not worn a hat in the show?
I always wear a hat. This might be a first.
You always do. And then who was our wild card champ this weekend?
Tyler Bowers in 13th.
Oh, my goodness. Didn't see that. That was probably one of his better finishes of the year.
I think it was, yeah.
Oh,
look it. We're back online. We're back online, boys.
There you go. I like to see it.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway, yeah, it was. I mean, 450s, you kind of expected it. Wasn't going to be all that exciting. It was kind of funny, though. If we watch let's just get into some of the favorite moments of the race, though, because the 250s was where it was at this weekend.
It was out of control.
It was. First of all, let's talk about Osborne, though. Did you see his crash in practice?
Yeah.
We watched this practice crash. And you and I...
That's just not what your body's supposed to do.
And you and I said, hey, this guy is beat up. Oh, my gosh, that's got to hurt. And we said, you know what? Osborne's probably going to be pretty roughed up for the main event. What does he do? He makes us look like fools.
Yeah.
Because he comes out and wins. But, oh, my gosh. Props to that man right there. That is a handlebar to the gut.
Think of all the races he's never won, and he does that and then wins.
I know.
I mean, nobody was seeing that coming.
All right. Now, you and I were talking about McElrath on the start and practice.
Oh, dude, that sucked.
Can we talk about that for just a second here? When he had that crash, what were you thinking? What is he doing?
I thought he was just nerves. I mean, I'm like, maybe it's not meant to be. But then you saw Sexton land on Nichols, and I'm like, Sexton's a mess too.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what Chase Sexton was doing in that moment. I mean, he tried to make the pass right there early in the race.
Oh, that sucks.
And you know what sucks even more is now Colt Nichols might have a broken arm.
Yeah.
So he might have to miss all of outdoor season.
I mean.
And what is Sexton thinking here? Yeah, if you guys are watching this, I mean, duh. Why would you take that risk when you have everything to lose?
It's guaranteed unintentional, but that's what I'm saying. He seemed like he was a mess in his head, too.
Oh, well, what about Ferrandis? I mean, you have this happen to Sexton in his heat race, and then you get the next heat race, and Ferrandis goes down.
I know.
And you're watching this, and as this is happening, you're thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was out of control.
What is
happening?
God. The two guys who have everything to lose are blowing it in their heat races.
Oh, my gosh.
Ferrandis goes to the LCQ, which he wins, but then has a horrible gate pick for the main event. And
well, it looked like it was setting the stage for a possible upset or two.
I know.
And we didn't get either one.
But even more crashes. Pierce Brown had a really bad digger in the race. Did you see that?
Yeah, that sucked.
Gosh.
Fortner.
Look at him right here. Look at Brown. He pulled an Osborne.
Boom.
Oh, gosh.
That turn was stacking bodies.
He got off a little bit easier than Osborne, but still, that has to hurt. I'm sure Pierce is really sore. And, yeah, I mean, Faulkner, holy crap, man. You remember when Daniel Blair told us? Daniel Blair told us there was going to be a what the heck just happened moment. To me, that was it right there. Faulkner's in second place.
Dude, that was a bummer.
Ferrandis is back outside the top 5 where Faulkner needs him to be, and he wads himself up like that.
I mean, they were coming around him pretty close, too.
Oh, gosh, man. That was just such a bummer to watch. And then anything else? What about Anderson?
Let's just say it. McElrath.
What?
The 2 restarts hurt him bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Chase Sexton still caught him and passed him straight up.
Well, Sexton he didn't ask for that, no.
Sexton did not ask for it, but
you can't hate Sexton anyway. That's just pure bad luck on McElrath. I mean,
it's some bad luck. I understand that.
There's nothing you can do about it, but it still would suck.
I don't know. If you're watching, comment. Do you guys think that Chase Sexton would have caught McElrath regardless without the restart? Because he was back in, I think, like 6th or 7th place around there when
McElrath was
the restart happened. Yeah.
When he had that lead.
But in this moment when they were just playing the games with each other, though, and Sexton passed him, Sexton checked out.
No, he was done after that.
Sexton was the fastest guy on the track.
But that's all McElrath could have really done. I mean, what would he have done to just ride out in front, you know? He had to try something.
No control, thinks he could have passed him. I think it was Sexton's race at that point.
No, kudos to Sexton. It's not his fault.
Yeah, I know. Sexton, I think, proved it. I think Sexton had a point to prove that, hey, last year people think that he lucked into the championship, which, I mean, yeah, he kind of did because he only won, one race?
What did I say? You'd rather be lucky than good.
That's
so
true.
You can't be mad if you get lucky.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But, yeah, it was pretty gnarly. But, yeah, Anderson, no seats given. How does your seat come off in a main event race?
Dude.
And, look, he's still seat bouncing stuff.
I know. I haven't seen that in a while.
I'd like to know how his butt feels right now after doing that. Like, that has got to hurt. You're right. You're on aluminum right there when you're seat bouncing. Actually, I think the Husqvarnas have a composite subframe. But either way, it can't feel good. And he's seat bouncing everything. What's funny, though, is his seat comes off, and Osborne had a side panel come off. Did you know that?
No, I didn't see that.
Osborne's side panel came off, and he said it was burning his leg. And that's why he had fallen back a little bit, and Anderson was so far out in front. And then Anderson's seat come off, and then Osborne goes to win. Like you said,
we've seen a little bit of everything this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. But the big story here, though, which I'm glad to say, is that the big Eli Tomac, where'd I put his number plate? There we go. Got the monkey off his back.
You can't make that up. The first Supercross champion to be a dad at the time he wins it on Father's Day.
On Father's Day, just had his kid, and he is the oldest rider to ever win a Supercross title. Did you know that?
Really? I didn't know that.
28 years old, and he won. He's the oldest guy to do it. And
that's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool. I'm kind of curious. I want you guys to comment below. Tomac is still the fastest guy, even at 28 years old. He hasn't had any really, really bad injuries. We talk about his shoulders that he did back in 2015, so that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think there's no reason that Tomac can't repeat. And real quickly, we want to do our first poll, and let's talk about this. Can Tomac repeat next year, or is there going to be a new champion?
Is he the favorite? It's the question.
And it's simple as that. Will Tomac back it up next year? Vote. Exclamation point, vote, space, and then put either yes or no. It is that simple. Me personally, we're going to talk about the 250 riders that are coming up to the 450 ranks next year, but I don't see any reason why Tomac can't back this up. Still 10 years younger than CR2, too. Almost. I don't think CR is 38, but maybe he is. Chad Reed is old, but, I mean, I say he's old. He's only a few years older than me.
Can he? I think he has as much of a chance as any returning champion to back it up.
Look at that. A lot of people think he can back it up.
There's nothing really against him. I mean, you got Marv coming back. Cooper was solid, just had a couple bad rounds.
Cooper is still going to be the hardest guy to beat again next
I think
year.
so, too. I mean, and then you got Osborne coming in hot, too.
Yeah.
So
but here's my theory with Tomac. Now that he is, like he said in the press conference, he feels that big stress relief. He feels relieved that he finally got that Supercross title because so many times he's had it in his grasp, and he admitted that he let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he has that win or that title, next year I think it's a lot more stress-free. I think if he has a red plate at any point in the season, he's not freaking out thinking, I can't blow this because I have to finally get that title.
Yeah.
Now I think when he gets the red plate, I think Tomac can even be more dominant than what we've seen this year, winning 7 races.
I agree.
I think he'll be even more dominant next year because he just I think Tomac, if he doesn't win another title, I don't think he's stressed about it. He got his one. That was his bucket list, and now he can just go for broke. So
I don't see anyone saying anything bad about anything in his career now. I mean, my gosh. He came back one of the toughest years you could possibly do it.
Oh, man, Tomac is going to be hard to beat next year. I just think because he's got that monkey off. He's stressed. You know, the stress level's not going to be as high.
I mean, let's be real. His starts were starting to come around. He didn't have any holes to his game by the end of the season. That's for sure.
This year, his starts were the one little hole.
And he fixed them.
Kind of.
Towards the end.
Oh, come on.
The man was getting starts.
Dude, the second to last race, he was literally dead last around the line.
Well,
he still got second.
I mean, that's one race.
Look up his starts. What we got here?
Let's see here in Salt Lake.
I don't think they're as good as you think they were.
4th, 9th, 3rd, 12th, 7th, 12th, and 10th, which for him is pretty good. Knowing that he can pass 10 people at any given race.
But look at that. There's a majority thinks that Tomac can back it up next year. I'm on that train.
I'm going to have to agree.
I'm on that Tomac
I don't see anyone
train.
who has a better chance than him.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. Webb, here's what's crazy, though, and you guys are going to love this. If you go back to when Webb had his crash, so round 2, I believe Webb got like 11th. 12th. And then he had that big get-off in the Triple Crown in Arlington. If you take away those 2 races, Webb has a points lead going into Salt Lake City, given that Webb would have won or podiumed in those 2 races. So it just goes to show you, you can't, with how good this class is, you can't have any bad races. And unfortunately this year, Tomac was just a better man. He was more consistent and just didn't have those bad Tomac rides that everyone was used to.
I wish I was as big as him.
Tomac's worst finish of the year was 7th. I think Cooper had 2 12ths.
Where did he get 7th at?
A1.
I thought he got 6th there, but it could have been 7th.
So after that, he wasn't out of the top 5. He was pretty dang consistent and won more races than anyone, I think. So.
But, I mean, Webb, I don't know. Webb was so freaking good in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I mean, he was sick. He crashed early. He was banged up.
But, again, props to Tomac for coming in. And what's kind of crazy is that Webb, he was pretty far out of it when they came into Salt Lake, and it was really just, everyone thought it was the Tomac-Roczen duel. And then Roczen faded really bad. Yeah. And Webb ended up being the guy that was challenging for the title.
He kept it exciting for us.
It was. Well, real quick, let's just throw up the lap chart just so you guys can see it. So that's what you're used to seeing each and every week.
Poor Benny Bloss. Let's just say it right now.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I thought he was going to podium for a minute.
I was texting you in a group, and I said, Bloss could podium today because he was catching Dean Wilson right there.
It.
And then it just all kind of came unraveled for him.
Yeah.
But props to Roczen, though. Brayton up there. No, Stewart. Sorry, looking at the wrong person.
Yeah,
Stewart
passes.
had his best finish of the year, so he had a really good week. And like I said, Tomac, I was surprised. I thought he was just going to stay right where he started.
Yep.
But he made passes. He worked his way up.
You can't shortchange Tickle either. I mean, last race or not, the man took 6th place.
What's crazy, though, is there was 3 Husqvarnas on the starting line, and all 3 were on the
look
podium.
at them. They just occupied that top 3 the whole time.
Oh, that's pretty wild. But anyway, let's move on here. Season awards. Christian, are your stats still not pulled up here? Oh, you got it right there.
My stats are up. I just can't see the comments, so keep it clean.
Oh,
keep it clean, kids.
All right. Well, we have some seasonal awards that we want to give to some of the riders and some of the fans out there. So, Christian, you put here most loyal SXperts.
I mean, whose comments are always good, coming in strong. I think of Tars Thomas. Always talking to us. Steve Brinkert in there.
Everyone's been on here. Moto Life's been in here.
Life.
Drew Odlin's been joining us. Steve Thorman.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of I
love seeing the nation grow like that. It's nice.
Yes. Everyone has been watching every round. But here's some interesting stats throughout the year that you might not know happen. That are some awards we like to give out. So first of all, most times getting into the main event from an LCQ.
Who would they guess? I want to see who people guess first.
Yeah, before we give the answer, who do you guys think?
Who qualified for the main the most times out of the LCQ? The Never Say Die rider.
We'll give you a hint. He rides a Suzuki. All right, first person to get it. Let's see. Come on. Where's our comments? Reed. No, Reed was not on a Suzuki. It was
Ray is close.
No, Ray was on a Kawasaki. It was actually Kyle Cunningham.
Yeah.
Qualified for the most main events out of the LCQ. He did it 8 times.
I mean, I just got respect for those dudes. They are battling for their livelihoods every week.
And his teammate did it 7 times, Ryan Brees.
Yeah. I mean, coming out of the LCQ that many times, you got nerves of steel.
Wild card champ on the year was Brayton.
Brayton and Freezy tied.
What's
3 wild cards each.
Freezy three-peated at the start of the year and then never got another
I know.
one.
He led us on. He was looking like the man for the wild card and then never did it again after round 3.
Here's an interesting stat. I want you guys to comment below. Who had the most laps led throughout the entire year? What do you guys think? I'm going to tell you right now, he rides a red bike, could have an HRC in the title. Ken Roxon.
Yeah.
He led 163 laps.
To Tomac's 98. And Tomac won the championship. So.
And 7 races. So Roxon, that just means he had starts dialed all year long.
For sure.
And then,
I mean, what's it saying here? Tomac and Roxon led 56.25% of all the main event laps.
That's pretty crazy.
So, killing it.
Oh, man. All right. Next one here. Triple Crown champ, Ken Roxon.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they didn't do the third one, but we still had 2.
Yeah, he had a first at Glendale and then a second overall in Arlington. Won all 3 main events in Glendale. He won one of the mains in Arlington.
Yep.
And he led 55 laps in Triple Crowns, most of any rider.
I added up all their finishes, Tomac and Roxon, and all 6 main events at Triple Crowns, and Tomac was only 1 position worse than Roxon.
Really?
So they were super close.
Jeez.
I don't know if he's going to get that Triple Crown trophy they gave Tomac.
Krista
suntan, baby.
Krista, you are right. Salt Lake was not kind to Ken Roxon, but he did do pretty good.
No.
Oh,
what's going on here?
Hey, we
Breaking
got a caller
news from producer Prouse.
Prouse, the man behind the camera right now. He is telling us we actually have a guest caller who's going to call in right now. Christian, you've talked to the man.
I've talked to him. This is Dylan. He won 3rd or 4th place, so he's one of our grand prize winners. We got to talk to him, see what his strategies was, how he did it.
All right, well, let's get him right on the phone. Dylan, are you there?
Yes, I am. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Dylan, where are you from?
I am from St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
St. Louis. And
Nice.
were you, now remind us, were you a 3rd or 4th place finisher?
I am 3rd place.
Oh, you know what
Energy
that
Cup.
means. That is one of my favorite prizes. You know why? Because I usually get to tag along. It's selfish of me to say that, but I love the Monster Energy Cup. I'm sure have you ever been to the Monster Cup before?
No, I haven't. Not at all.
Well,
nice.
I'm stoked.
That's sweet.
Have you been to a Supercross race?
Yes, I've
St. Louis
been
Supercross.
to a ton of them. Yeah, I've been to quite a few.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the Monster Cup is one of a kind. It's an absolute blast. And when you're there, most likely Christian and I are going to be there hanging out with you. We give you the VIP experience.
We just tag along with you.
You get the best dinners. You get the good access. You get to meet people. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got a lot to look forward to. It's going to be an absolute blast.
Yep.
Still waiting to kind of see when they're going to do it. But
Yeah, how, when, and how, but
Dylan, talk
Yeah,
about your season.
I feel kind of like the. Oh, sorry. I feel kind of like the Bad Luck Brian meme. Like, this is the first time I've won anything, and it's an awesome trip, and it's in the middle of a global pandemic. I'm like,
I know.
great.
I know, but hey, no matter what,
It'll
man,
happen.
we're gonna make something
We'll
happen
make the
for you.
best
So
out of
don't
it.
even stress.
Yeah,
But
it'll work out.
Absolutely. But looking at the leaderboard up here, you finished in 3rd place, which is
That's amazing. Over 90,000 players.
incredibly hard to do. Out of
Thank you.
90,000 players, you got 3rd. So tell us a little bit about your season, your strategy, and how you made your picks every week.
How did you do it?
Well, in terms of my season overall, I'm excited. This is the first time I've played fantasy, and the whole reason I joined was because one of my friends has a group of friends that all race, and they had like their own local group on here. And so I'm like, I'll show these guys up. And so I decided to join, and I bodied those guys. So,
I love it.
yeah,
dude.
hopefully they'll want me to come back next year in the fantasy group. But in the final round here, like I wish I had been in like 5th place or something in the second to last round, or going into the final round rather.
What position
because
were you in?
I was leading going into the final round, and so I ended up 3rd. And it's like winning a car on The Price is Right, and then losing the Showcase Showdown. Like I won the car, but like I almost had a Winnebago. You know what I mean? So like I'm stoked. This is going to be awesome, but a little bummed with the 3rd, but like I can't complain. I mean, if you guys would have given me some Chili's coupons, I would have been happy. Like I'm just, I'm just happy to have anything.
I can't believe this. Yeah. I don't even know the stress you were feeling.
That's what I'm wondering.
Being in the lead.
Yeah.
So who are your top 5 picks for the last round? What were your picks?
Okay, so for the final round, I went with Cooper Webb winning it.
Which
he's
I'm sure
on
everyone did. He was the number 1 picked rider to win.
Yeah. And then, so I had to play this kind of conservatively because I was leading. I didn't want to make any crazy plays. And so I went with Tomac second because he's been so dominant. I didn't think he was just going to cruise off. Like some people were saying, oh, he's just going to cruise like last place going to the first corner. I'm like, that's kind of hazardous. Right. You know, you got to come up through the pack, man. So much can happen. I'm like, he's just going to cruise around somewhere in the top 3. I went Roxon 3rd because I thought, he'd been riding better. Like each week, after he had that real bad week, he's been kind of improving. I went Anderson 4th because he hadn't been getting the best starts, and he's just been kind of a 4th, 5th place guy, occasionally getting a little bit higher lately. And then I went Osborne 5th because I knew. Well, originally I had him ranked higher up, but after that crash, I'm like, he's probably going to be hurting a little bit. I'm going to drop him down some, but he's been getting good starts. So I'm like, this track I think is going to reward a good start. So even if he just has to suffer through it, I thought he'd come back with a 5th.
Huh.
Obviously, I was wrong.
Christian and I were
not good.
Yeah, neither one of us.
Don't even worry about that. But Lego
overall,
Moto X,
those picks.
What's that?
No, so overall, my picks were not good.
But hey, you know what? That's all right. You still got 3rd place overall.
I think it was such an odd results in that race that it didn't shuffle people too much.
No, it couldn't have.
A lot of people had lower scores, which probably helped out.
Absolutely. No, it was, it was pretty wild, though. But, I mean,
what's the stress? Like, when you're locking down those final picks, do you have a group around you? Do you have people checking in on you?
I was kind of like a vampire all weekend. Like I wasn't really talking much. I was just kind of keeping to myself. My girlfriend was probably concerned. She's been studying for her nursing NCLEX, so she's been stressed as hell. And then I'm stressed and kind of keeping to myself. And I'm like, she's trying to run down a career. I'm trying to get a dirt bike, but similar levels of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hectic weekend. I couldn't even enjoy that final race because, like, the first corner, it's just a melee. And I'm looking at my results, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm screwed. Like, this is not good. I'm like,
no, you see Webb and Roxon are down. Roxon crashes on the 2nd or 3rd turn. Webb's down in the first corner.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well,
Wilson's leading.
Wilson's leading. You're like, what is happening?
Gosh.
Yeah, at that point, I'm just hoping for mass chaos so that everybody does bad, and then I can just cruise home. Yep. And it almost worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did when you found out you won a grand prize?
I went and told my girlfriend. I was, like I said, kind of a weird excitement because, like, I went from 1st to 3rd. So, like, I was still excited that, I won something. So I went and I told them, like, hey, I did this. And she's just like, oh, that's pretty great. And, like, her NCLEX is coming up. So, like, her mind is elsewhere.
Well, hey, you just got to remind her that she gets to come with you to the Monster Cup unless you decide to bring, unless you decide to bring a male friend,
a buddy.
Like
or
a
something.
buddy.
Well, I think I'm going to take my dad because he grew up on a farm. He hasn't, really been, west of the Mississippi a whole lot. So
there you go.
I think I'm going to take him along. My girlfriend and I will have many years of trips and everything. So I think it would be special to take my dad along. He'll have a blast.
That's pretty cool. Well, you know what, man? Props to you. I can't imagine watching that final round. When you're leading, you have everything to lose.
I'm scared putting my picks in. I'm in like the bottom 10%, so I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, we just wanted to call you and say congratulations.
Yep.
You sound like an awesome guy. Thank you
Can't
so
wait to
much
meet
for
you.
playing this year. First-time player comes out and gets third place overall.
There you go. Some people think these
I'll
prizes
be
are
back.
make-believe or it never happens, but I talked to the guy who won first place first year playing this year too, so don't be afraid to
my
get
dad
signed
thought
up.
this was a scam. My dad's like, I don't know about that. He thought this was fishy. He's like, you paid nothing and you just won that? And I'm like, yeah. And, I had to convince him.
A lot of winners will come
Well,
and say
hey,
that.
if he's still doubting it, you can confirm it now because he can watch this video, and that's kind of hard
Oh,
to
yeah,
fake.
I'm going to show him.
I
Yeah,
always tell the
exactly.
winners, you can't claim your prize till you buy like a water softener or something from us. There's some type of catch, but no, there's no catches. Can't wait to meet you. So
Well, hey, Dylan, congratulations, man, and pumped for you. Obviously,
Thank
we know
you.
you're going to play next year.
mm-hmm.
And
Heck yeah.
we'll talk soon, and we're going to see you at Monster Cup this year and have an absolute blast.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, man.
Okay.
Have a good one.
we'll see you.
Take care.
Bye. Now he's a good guy right
Dude,
there.
I'm telling you right now, the best. I mean, there's always such great people that are the winners every year. I mean, most of them we still talk to, keep in touch with.
Yeah, who
So,
sent us that? You're the guy that's always like keeping.
I mean, we have the best winners. I have my buddy Rich, Russ. There's
Who's
There's
Dick
winners
Maybe?
even from
Is
the
it-
first
is Dick
year.
maybe Rich?
Yeah, Richard maybe.
Who
I
sent
love
us
that
the
dude.
jerky?
He's the guy who sends us the jerky,
Rich sent us the jerky.
the velvet elbows. and,
Rich, if you're watching, we could use some more of that stuff. It's pretty dang good, and everyone
he
here in
had,
the
like-
office liked it too.
like fish jerky. It was bomb. And Russ is sending us stuff from Canada, those
Yeah.
treats and stuff.
And
so
we got to give a shout out because one of our locals here, Kevin, I hope you're watching this. Kevin's an awesome guy. He plays fantasy. We met him at a Supercross race. I actually go up and ride up at OCA MX with him sometimes. He sent you and I one of the Flagger Monster Energy
oh dang,
shirts that they wear for flagging.
that's awesome. I
And
love
so,
Kevin and his son.
thank you for the gift package.
We see them at every race.
I know.
They're good people.
They are awesome. But so real quick, let me just give you another cool stat on some of the
Some rider stuff.
Yeah, some rider stuff. And then we'll move on and talk about the player breakdowns
Yeah.
here. It was the first time since 1992 that the East and West Coast champions repeated.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
That is pretty cool, huh? But now, we just got done talking to Dylan, who got third place, to kind of give you guys an idea and a breakdown of just how points went throughout the entire season so you can kind of see where you stacked up. Let's just talk about fantasy player breakdown here.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, what do you got?
The average score per round was 45 points. That's with the double point round included. So
Yep.
it was good. Average score 770. That's 110 or so more than I got.
Yeah, you were well below average there.
I had a couple strong rounds late, but it was too little, too late.
What's crazy is the winners had over 1,000 points. And I look at that thinking, man,
I know.
that is hard to do.
I'm just going to tell people right now because I broke down the top 10 grand prize winners picks.
Yeah.
Most of them had about 60 points after the first two rounds.
Average.
I mean, second round, I think almost all of them got 20 points.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad round or two, you're never out. You just got to stay consistent. I don't think any of them won more than a weekly gift card. I mean, they're just getting 1, 2, maybe 3 picks right
Yeah.
each week. And out of all 10, all their picks, there was only one of them that had one perfect score the entire season.
Really?
So
That just goes to show you don't have to have these
no,
massive scores. You just have to be
stay consistent. What
Stay
kills me is
consistent.
people will be like, I only got 3 right. It's like, if you got 3 right,
That's
you
really
are
good.
killing. If you get 1 right, you are doing good.
If you get 1 right and you get
Some
2,
friendlies
maybe
in
3
there.
riders that are only 1 spot off, and
Exactly.
you get those extra
Exactly.
10 points, right?
5-10 points
Then
each.
you're crushing it. You're going to get
Yep.
that 60 plus points every week.
Don't beat yourself up if you only got 1 right. I mean, be happy you got 1. You're going to move up the standings. So
Oh, look at this, though. 101,700 players got the wild card pick correct. The wild card's another thing that we talked about that
Yeah.
you got to get.
I think it's the first time we've ever had over 100,000 times people got the wild card correct.
Yeah.
So
Look at that. Eric Havel says he was in the top 50 in the leaderboard. That's pretty dang good. Over 90,000 players this year. Got to give a shout out to everyone that was playing fantasy. That's how we grow this whole thing is share this with your friends, your family, get everyone you can to sign up and play because it's free. And as you guys just saw, having Dylan on the phone, we give away some pretty killer prizes.
Yep.
And what's crazy is we had perfect scores in 8 of the 17 rounds.
that was the most of any year we've ever had. most perfect scores we've ever had. So people were getting it down this year.
Yeah. So those are kind of how the player stats broke down throughout the entire year. Now let's just kind of go over some of our favorite highlights that you and I kind of picked up on the year. And if you guys are commenting, watching this, kind of let us know, what were some of your favorite moments throughout the year? There's a lot of them. We're not going to have time to cover all of them.
Yeah.
But for me, right away, first one that stands out is Adam Cianciarulo, who unfortunately crashed out. But this man almost won his very first ever Monster Energy Supercross.
His first 450 Supercross.
A1, he came out. Had he not bobbled right here in that rhythm section, he's probably going to go on to win that race. And he had just won the Monster Cup, too. Could you imagine?
Well, had held off Tomac to win the Monster Cup.
I know. It's pretty wild. So that's something that, for me, really stood out. K-Rock got his first win since 2017.
Yeah, that was big. I mean, everybody was crying.
Yeah,
it was emotional.
Courtney, she's crying. Roxon was freaking out underneath his helmet right there. You can watch the GoPro footage, actually. And
there was no Supercross fan was upset at that.
No, you can't be upset with that.
That was awesome.
And then something that I really didn't expect that we didn't see a whole lot of is Webb crashing out in Arlington.
Yeah.
And that was really just the turning point.
Changed the season.
Because had that not happened, this thing is going to be a really tight points battle coming down. And, oh, my gosh, how did he not die?
I mean, we did see it replayed many of times.
Oh, many times. What's worse, though, that crash or Zach Osborne's? Who would you rather be? Would you rather be Webb right here?
I don't know.
I'd rather be, I don't know.
Gosh, you're on cement.
I'd rather be Zach Osborne, I guess.
Yeah, considering how he turned out. If I could do that and then come back and win, yeah.
All right. What other moments that were some of your favorites?
You got here in Tomac's charge from the back in Daytona. Okay. That was awesome right before the break.
Yep.
I mean, the man was just possessed
This is what gave him a 3-point lead over Ken Roxon.
Yep.
He came back from around 10th place on a track that everyone said was, people didn't like the layout, said it was too hard to pass. It was one line, but clearly Tomac didn't agree with that whole situation.
It looked weird on paper, but it turned out to be a pretty cool race.
Daytona, I know some people talk about having Daytona not be one of the races. It's my favorite race to watch during the year.
I would bet most people would pick this as their favorite.
It is an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Jet Lawrence almost won Anaheim, too, the rookie. There's a lot of hype around this kid. But I'm going to tell you right now, if this kid does not figure this out, he needs to just tone it down. He's 16.
He's young.
Yeah, he's got a lot of maturing to do. He's an incredibly talented racer, but he's got to not let things like this happen coming up in this next whoop section.
I don't know if there's anybody funner to watch right now, though.
No, he's fun, but things like this, that's going to end your career real quick.
Oh,
and that's riding a little bit over your limit. I understand it. He wanted the win. That is hard to watch, but he's got a little bit of growing up to do.
I'm just going to say about Jet Lawrence, he is what this industry needs, what every sport needs.
Yeah,
he's likable. He's exciting.
All I'm saying is I think Jet's going to be an incredible rider, but we got to just pump the brakes a little bit and just
he's got J-Law in his name. What more do you need?
We just got to pump the brakes a little bit. I don't know. But we had some people right here commenting about Barsha and Tomac, and yes, that is one of our highlights. Yeah. Probably my favorite quote of the year.
You can't go without that.
Justin Barsha, Eli Tomac, they got into it during the race, and it was in Atlanta.
This year?
Tomac, if you guys weren't watching that, go back and watch it. It's hilarious because Barsha and Tomac were doing a little rubbing. Rubbin's racing. I didn't see anything dirty.
I didn't either.
Tomac made an aggressive but not dirty pass on Barsha. Barsha then tries to ram it in on him. And right after the race, Barsha's freaking out because Tomac, he said, was over the line. It was dirty.
I like Tomac telling him, there's someone else that's as crazy as you.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. But
gold.
Tomac says to Justin Barsha, have you ever passed somebody without touching them? And Barsha says, this year.
That was good.
Oh
I mean, you can't expect the greatest things when they're all hyped up like that 10 seconds after the race.
So why not just keep blasting people?
I don't know. I personally like that. For me, it made me not. I mean, if you're Barsha, it's like, dude, you've dished it out so many times. Like, you've got to take it.
Yeah, I agree.
I lost a little bit of respect for Justin Barsha in that moment.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't lose any respect for him. They're so heated right then. I mean, a lot of us in the same situation probably would have done way worse.
Look at that. Steve Thorman thinks Jet's the real deal.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, he is. But look, it reminds me of a young James Stewart. James Stewart said it in his own interview that he probably could have won a lot more championships if he had just learned to back it down a notch in certain situations.
But I go back to that's not really his personality. That's not his style. So what are you doing when you're getting away from that too, you know?
I don't know. That consistency wins championships.
It does, but
I don't know.
My God, those two are exciting to watch.
I predict Jet to be the next big kind of freestyle guy too, or like the big free riders.
Eli laugh was to die for. We tried to pull that, but that laugh was
a
classic.
little creepy. But, well, real quick, let's just do a shout out here to the top 10 season winners on the year. We just had Dylan on the phone. He got third place.
Over.
Josh, can we get the leaderboard up on the screen? And let's talk about this here. First place this year, we are giving a Race Prep KTM 450 Factory Edition. And look at these guys.
Yeah, BMO. I think he was in 5th before the last round. So
crushing it on the points the entire year.
Yep.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I talked to the second place guy. He didn't even know he'd won. He was out riding his UTV on the mountain, came down to check his score, and it was right as I called him.
Oh my gosh.
He was super pumped. And he asked me, what's funny is he knows all these people. Where did this guy in? Where's Caitlin? Yeah. He knew all of them. It was awesome.
Caitlin to Dub. There's a lot of people who were in the top 10 when we were getting right down to the end, and they didn't stay there. But
no, I got shifted around.
Congratulations to the top 10 for winning one of those top 10 grand prizes. Congratulations. That is hard to do.
Oh, it's almost impossible.
And you know what's crazy is our first place winner, he's from Sweden.
Yeah, he's far away.
So we are getting a Race Prep KTM Factory Edition sent over to Sweden for that man.
Set it up for him for sure.
Anyway, pretty wild to see. But moving on, what else we got here?
I talked to the guy who won the Dunlop tires. He was super pumped. He told me, it came out of his mouth really quick that if I would have put Anderson in second, like you guys said, I would have won the whole thing.
Really?
Kind of like he's been probably thinking about it a lot since. But
could you imagine the remorse?
I just told him if you would have listened to us, you probably wouldn't even have been in that position. So just be happy you got that.
Give us more credit than that.
He was happy. He won the tires. And, of course, there are other great prizes there. I mean, none of these people can be upset. What else do we got?
We got the Factory Edition. We're going to have the winner of the 250 SX that's going to be coming to Rocky Mountain to pick up that bike. I believe he's from California.
Yep.
So he'll be coming to grab it.
Dude.
We already talked to Dylan about the Monster Cup trip. 4th place, you get free Dunlop tires for a year.
That guy was pumped.
Hopefully that makes him ride more.
Yeah, he's not upset about that at all.
Got to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. The Alpine Stars Gear and Casual. I mean, you're going to be looking fly for a while after that. Tusk Impact wheels and Honda generator, Fly Racing gear package, the Milestone video games, TV and console, Motion Pro tools. I swear, whoever wins that every year is as happy as any prize I've ever given out. Those dudes love that. And Oakley sunglasses and goggles too. So I think the guy who was in the SXperts group ended up winning 10th place there. So
really, Oh my goodness, look at that! Some people are already talking about outdoors. And look, people, we know there's a lot of fans out there who are wanting some fantasy for outdoors. Trust me, we've discussed it. It's not in the cards yet, but hey, you never know. One day,
yeah, it's a lot of work to run this one.
It is,
so.
But we love doing it. But let's ask some simple questions going into next year. We've already asked the poll of whether or not Tomac can repeat, and we saw a lot of people saying yes to that. Here's a question I want answered. You put this up here, is whether or not Osborne is a guaranteed contender for next year.
I don't see how you could say he's not. I mean, whatever he figured out after that break.
His starts, if he can just come back and get starts like he did,
I mean,
his starts were unreal.
6 of the 7 starts in Salt Lake, he was no worse than 3rd. And if you're going to do that and you've already proven you can win, even if it's the last round or not, you're going to be a contender.
Those Huskies got something figured out right there toward the end of the year.
His last 8 races, he was in the top 5.
Does anyone think Marv can be a contender next year? Marvin Muscan, I think a lot of people kind of forgot about him. Moto X says Osborne is not a contender.
I'm going to have to argue that one.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I want to know why you think he's not. That would be my question.
Beat a drum.
But Marvin, I saw on Instagram, was riding around Ricky's place.
Really?
The
Out
goat
in Florida.
farm. So, yeah. I don't think he's going to be a joke when he comes back.
Well, he's getting ready for outdoors right now, but the question is, I mean, he's what, 30 years old? And with now, okay.
I used to be the man back in the day.
It's very true. I don't know. I think Osborne's got a better shot than Muscan at this point. When you miss an entire
Osborne's kind of
Supercross
older
season,
too, though.
That's true, but Osborne's kind of going off some of the momentum from this year, and I think when he shows up to A1, he's got that confidence where Musquin missed the entire season, so when Musquin shows up, man, it's going to be hard. Look, see, MotoX, he'd have to see Marvin Rye before he says anything. McElrath wins 2021 450 SX. We don't even know where he's going yet.
I'm with that. He's my guy. I'm with that, Mike. I got you on that.
Well, Mike LeBlanc said JK.
Well, I'm not with that. I'm with the first comment. The first one's good. I like that.
You fell for it. But right. I think, I don't know. Marv's going to be hard. I mean, I see him as a top 5 guy, but now with some of these rookies that are coming in, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of that, let's get to our next poll, which is which rookie in 2021 is going to make the biggest splash?
Well, if you're asking me, I'm going to say McElrath.
You think so? Why do you love him so much?
I just like that dude. I like how he rides. He seems like a good dude. I'm a bigger fan of just a good dude than how good you are out there. And he's got both, so.
Oh, well, all right. So the 3 rookies that are going to be moving up, you've got Sexton, Ferrandis, and then you have McElrath. So, again, exclamation point, vote, space, and then put the name of the rider. And be sure to look at McElrath and Ferrandis that you spell it correctly. Because if you don't spell it right, it won't be up there.
Those 3 are all going to be good. I mean, let's be honest.
Dude, honestly, I just got to say it. I think Sexton and Ferrandis are the faster guys.
They're champions.
Yeah.
They're repeat champions.
I think those 2 are going to be the better of the 3.
If I'm betting with money, I'm going to agree with you. But if I'm going off my heart here, I'm a McElrath
but that's
dude.
not what pays the bills in fantasy.
No.
But
we learned that this year the hard way.
Ferrandis is gnarly. He's older and more mature. Yeah, I don't know. Shane, you might be onto something. And maybe, how cool would it be? I don't know what 450 negotiates are taking place. Sexton's already going to be on HRC Honda.
Yeah, they ain't letting him go.
Yeah, and Honda's going to have a brand new 450 coming out later this year, so they're going to be on an all-new bike for Supercross. So hopefully they can get that thing dialed in and set up before the Supercross season starts. Ferrandis, I don't know if he's been talking to Yamaha or not. It'd be rad to see him just crush it next year. But you'll never know. What do you think?
Chase Sexton is faster, but Ferrandis has more heart. I'd agree with that. I mean, did you see Ferrandis just tearing up there and when he's getting his trophy? And it was pretty cool to see him do all that.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Ferrandis, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I'll be the first one to admit. Look at our poll right now. Sexton is actually ahead of Ferrandis of who thinks going to be the better rookie next year. Personally, I was pretty upset with Ferrandis when he took out Craig.
So why not just keep blasting people?
Thank you. Yeah,
I don't think he meant for that to happen.
He didn't, but nobody's going to – I think most people are going to agree that it was over the line.
It was over the top.
It was a mental brain fart.
But I liked it.
Shouldn't have tried to make that pass.
I like when you're pushing it that hard.
Yeah, but – okay, but I get it. But I did gain a lot of just respect for Ferrandis.
Yeah.
You know,
no doubt.
I think he did really well this
year. He could have really crumbled
up.
after that. I mean, everyone was shouting at him, it seemed like. He was getting booed in stadiums, and he didn't even care. He came back, did what he did.
I disagree. I think he cared, but he did a good job of saying, kind of deserved that.
Well, yeah. He didn't let it affect him, is maybe what I should have said. He just moved on.
I'm just listening to this over here. I'm chilling.
But it's kind of weird, though. We've seen a lot of rookies. Look, man, all I'm going to say is I fear for Ferrandis or McElrath, whoever ends up on that factory Yamaha team. Because that Yamaha team has not been good to rookies. It almost destroyed Cooper Webb. Plessinger has not had that great of results in 2 seasons, not what we expect from him. Barsha won the opener a couple years in a row, but after that, he got a couple podiums here and there. But I really hope they can sort out that bike for whoever's going to be riding it next year.
I don't know if it was Salt Lake or what it was, but yeah. I mean, almost all of Barsha's worst finishes on the season were in Salt Lake.
Well,
so, you got a problem here.
Yeah, he definitely had a problem there.
Him and Plessinger both said that bike's just not the best bike on a hard packed track. Well, you better get it figured out.
I mean, it sure looked
Everyone
like
else has got it figured out.
Yeah.
But,
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
But it looks like, so Josh, go back to our poll real quick. Let's see who's taking the leader there before we let you go on that. Sexton.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, man, he's just so fluid. He's so good on that. But let's ask a few more questions here. Sexton is the son of Wyndham and Dungy. WC rider just said.
I like
you know, he's got a point. He's fluid on the bike. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
He's taller.
Got good style.
He's a taller dude.
That is pretty funny, though. But let's talk about it. You're right, Krista. Francis absolutely cared, and I don't care who you are, what rider you are, you're going to be upset if the entire stadium's booing. You remember Muscan got booed?
Yeah.
And then he made all those excuses on the podium afterwards?
Yeah.
He cared. If he didn't care, he would have said,
I'm just
I
saying
blasted it.
he got over it. And the empty stadiums might have helped him in the end. Who knows?
It could have. I don't know. But a few more questions for you guys. What's your favorite part of SXperts? What do you guys like the most? Is it the stats?
Yeah, do we need more stats helping you
Do you
make
like
your
the
picks?
callers each and every week? Do you like it when we're just bench racing, talking to you guys? What is your favorite part of it? Why do you come back each and every week? Because what we want to do is we want to make SXperts as good as possible. We want to give you guys the best show possible. We know people love the live format. We don't even need to ask, do you like the live format or the pre-recorded version more? Because we like the live version a lot more. But who is your favorite call in the year? Or maybe who do you want to see call in next year? Kind of leave your comments below and tell us what you guys think.
Let us know. I like Weston Pike always.
Yeah, Weston
That's always
Pike.
good.
Yeah, look at that. Getman43. Martin. Martin is actually who took out Webb in the first turn corner. Did you see that? I don't know.
You know who else I liked a lot was Nate Adams. I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, Nate
I
Adams
heard from
was
him
really
in a
good.
while, and it's cool to hear from those dudes.
Yeah, so it looks at MotoX says more top riders, and trust me, that is on our list for 2021.
Let's see what
We want to
do.
have Drew Odlin put Steve Mathis.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, I know who it is. Mathis. I don't think he's going to want to call into our show, but it would be kind of funny. Victor, let's see. So representation likes the live version. The stats are interesting. Live calls.
I think we need to get some of the SXpert Nation calling in, too, giving us their input. A lot of these people, even when we talk to the winners and all that, they have systems when they put their picks in that seem to do pretty well.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. My favorite part is just interacting with the fans. I love people when they're commenting. And like we talked about, we see all those J-Law.
J-Law would be good. I thought even of like an Austin Stroop. Nico Easy maybe would be interesting to talk to, see what's going on. But
yeah, it would be pretty good. Out of J-Law, goodness. I want to get some of the past champs. I want to get Carmichael on the show. We've had Emig. I want my boy Kevin Windham to call in.
that would be sweet.
I know who you want.
Yeah, I want Trey.
You want Trey.
He'd probably call in. I wouldn't know what to say anyways.
I know. You just freeze up like a fanboy.
Probably.
But, yeah, I don't know. I love having the callers call in. We had, Jeff Walker called in a few times during the show.
Cool.
I think he did really good.
We got to get Carrie back, too. It's been too long. We need to check on her, see how she ended up her season. So
Lego Moto X wants CR2 too.
that'd be cool.
Don't we all?
That'd be cool.
Maybe. I don't know. Is he going to retire?
I don't think so.
I don't
It's
think
not even about winning anymore.
I think it's like a soft retirement.
I don't think Chad Reed races the entire season, but I think he does come back for a few of the rounds.
I do, too.
What do you
I
say?
think
He
he's
wants to
leaving
be
that door open.
He wants. I can hardly wait.
That was my first ever fantasy name.
I know, but I think Chad Reed. I think he said he wants to be the oldest rider to qualify for a main event, which is probably 40 years old, right around there. I don't know the exact age.
It's old, but he'd whoop all of us. So.
Oh wait, okay. So let's see. Danny Floyd said we need new commentators during the races. I have to point out, and I'm sorry to do it again, but did Ralph Shaheen get it wrong
Why do we got to talk
again?
about that? I've been hearing people giving him a hard time. I'm just gonna say, from doing this live, Ralph Shaheen knows what he's talking about.
I know, bro, but it gets me confused
He
when the
knows
man,
what
when
he's
the man
doing.
wraps it up like it's the race is over.
Well, he's
and there's
human.
a lap to go.
I mean, we got to give this guy a little bit of a break. I mean, that job is unbelievably hard, I'm sure, and of course, people are going to make mistakes. Just take it as something funny and move on. Is my opinion.
I know. I felt bad for it. I mean,
Got a problem here.
I'm a Ralph fan. I
he
think
did it
does
2
great.
weeks in a row. I even sent to our group chat. I was like, "Did Ralph do it again?"
I just wanted the camera on Ricky when it happened.
Oh man! But look at that, Steve Thorman. Yes, he says bring back Carrie.
Yeah, we got to check on her. I haven't seen where she ended up.
Oh man. Anyway, so sounds like you guys like the callers a lot, and so do we. So we're gonna try and get as many good callers in. And yeah, if you're playing next year and you're doing really well in the stats and the points and you're commenting, then yeah, we'd love to have a few of our players call in next year.
I think
so
that'd be awesome.
it would be a good job.
So
But anyway,
that's pretty much it. I mean, we're just getting to the giving out the prizes now. So
yeah, it's been an absolute blast. And again, just thank you so much to everyone who has been playing with us all year long. Ooh, All right, we got
Last
one more
one?
poll. Josh wants to do one more.
You got to listen to Josh. He pretty much dominated the Rocky Mountain group along with our general
That's
manager,
true.
Ray.
Josh won a gift card to Rocky Mountain.
What's your strategy, Josh? How'd you do that? You're in here with us. We rubbed off on you or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like Dylan, where I haven't really won anything almost ever. And when I found out I got third place, I was pumped.
Well,
Yeah,
won a Rocky Mountain gift card.
Yeah, well, Rocky Mountain has an internal group because we actually can't play for grand prizes or weekly top 10 prizes, but we
Obviously.
have an internal group. And Josh, the man, what'd you get third, Josh?
Yeah, I got third place.
You know what's crazy is Ray Butts, our general manager,
He was
won.
dominating. Yeah.
He dominated the whole thing
Before the last round, he would have been in the top 10 of everyone.
overall.
Yeah, so
That is impressive.
some people here doing pretty good. Not me. Not this time, but
Oh, look at that. Even our own Rocky Mountain says Josh is making a baby of us.
he's mixing our picks together and just winning.
Hey, Cyrus Butts is in here right now. What's up, Cyrus? That's Ray's son.
Mm-hmm.
Cyrus. All right, but looking at our poll right here, the most improved rider for the 2020 season looks like Zach Osborne.
I think that's
We got Tomac
justified.
up there. Yeah.
Tomac. I mean, was always great.
Tomac just got past his mental problems that he was
Yeah.
always having.
Malcolm Stewart, pretty good.
Look, I would say most improved rider for the year. I mean, here let's fast forward. Who was the most improved rider from Salt Lake City on? Absolutely Osborne.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Benny Bloss kind of had, he started later in the season when he was with and when he joined the Rocky Mountain team again. But Benny Bloss, him and Osborne were definitely, if you're going to say two of the top most improved riders, Bloss stepped it up.
I mean,
he was
his
top 5 in qualifying a few rounds. Like I said, he probably could have podiumed last week if he had not just had, the blow up.
There was rounds he didn't even make the main. So all of a sudden he's starting fourth place in the last round. Getting top 10s.
Here's my prediction right now. Benny Bloss is going to give Blake Baggett a run for his money in outdoors.
He does well in outdoors.
He loves the outdoors.
so does Blake, but Benny does well.
I think Benny is just, he's hungry, man. I think he's going to have a really good outdoor season. So he just got to get a start, though. But luckily in outdoors, they give as much power as they can to those bikes because Benny's a bigger guy. So
Yeah.
look at that. Malcolm Stewart, he's getting some votes now.
Was it Chris Guthrie wants us to talk about the worst improved? I won't get into that.
The worst improved?
I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, man. Justin Barsha.
No.
Worst. Are you kidding
No
me?
comment. No comment.
You
It is hard. I mean, I was looking at his stats.
Look at his
and
stats for the Salt Lake City rounds.
It got bad. I don't know what's going on there. I like Justin.
Even Aaron Plessinger, who really needed to have a breakout season, really didn't impress me. Blake Baggett definitely had his ups and downs because Blake's one of those guys where he was really hot and then he'd be really cold, made it super difficult. So there's a lot of riders where you're kind of like just head scratchers, like what is going on?
You got to give Barsha his average finish per main event was 5th best this year, whether you like it or not. He fell off towards the end. He did for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you guys think? Who is Marty? I don't know. It was tough. Overall, it was a really good season. I mean, when was the last time? I mean, I guess with Tomac and Dungy is when we see a real tight points battle coming down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was exciting the whole way. I really thought Ken Roxon was going to give a better run towards the end.
Yeah.
I guess he had that ailment and some other issues going on, but
Shingles.
overall, the 250s were awesome to watch. 450s were awesome to watch, and we had a blast with you guys all watching and going along with the show the entire time.
Just being able to pull the rest of the season off. I mean, it was looking pretty bad there for a minute.
Thank you to Feld and the Utah Sports Commission, everyone that made that happen, because it was not looking pretty for a little while.
Nope. So let's come back next year, break 100,000.
Yes. Tell your wife, tell your friends, tell them all to play fantasy next year. It's this simple. Just subscribe to the Rocky Mountain ATVMC YouTube channel. We have a lot of other great content on there, aside from the RMFantasySXperts show. But just before the 2021 season gets started, a few weeks in advance, the week prior, we're going to be sending out notification letting you know that signups are open to start playing.
Usually around early December.
And also be sure to check out if there are any rule changes. We will give an update. We'll be doing a video talking about that. But here's how easy it is to play. You make your top 5 picks each week, and then you make your wild card pick. That changes every week. It can be anywhere from 6 to last. Once you've done that, you watch our show. We help you make your picks. We give you stats. And then you just sit back and watch the races, and you have an absolute blast.
And the 10-point deal this year when you were only one off, I'd really like that. That was a suggestion we got. If you guys have suggestions, things you want changed, added, whatever, email support at RMFantasySX.com. Let us know. Comment here. Whatever you got to do. Like you said earlier, we just want to make it better for everybody. So.
Yep. You know what? I got one other thing that I'd like to see next year. I love the 2 races a week thing.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It's nice having something to look forward to on the week, during the week as well.
I mean, they were talking about all the injuries. Didn't we have a list of all the riders here that made every main? We actually had most of the riders still there at the end of the season.
No, it was good. And I think with the 2 races each week, the riders were riding less during the week, so you
Less
don't have
practice
as many practice
injuries.
crashes. Yeah,
Yep.
It was really good.
So I liked it.
Anyway, I don't know. It was fun. But anyway, from all of us here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who watches. Couldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. Fantasy is an absolute blast, so help us grow this. Share it with everyone you know. Get signed up, and we will see you in 2021. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
We'll see you soon.